Hi there. Be memorable. This is one of the most common piece of advice that you're gonna find on the internet. But what does exactly that mean? I mean, they need to remember you at the end of your talk? Sure, but how? Picture this. There is a conference, a panel of speakers, and I'm one of them, and I decide to enter the stage crawling. Now, at the end of the conference, will the audience remember me? Sure, they will remember the crazy lady that entered the stage crawling. But how about my message? They will not. What is important is they remember your message. You need to make your message memorable. How? It's quite simple, really. So I have 3 tips for you to help you to produce a more memorable message. First one, tell a story. And I know you already read that advice everywhere so many times, right? But it is important because facts and numbers and stats, they are boring, but stories, they are not. And they appeal to your emotions. And that's what your audience wants and what they will remember. So tell stories, relevant stories about your topic, whatever it is. Okay? They need emotion. It doesn't matter if you make them laugh or cry, if you scare them, if you shock them, doesn't matter. What you can't have is zero emotion, because that's what makes most of things memorable. All the memories you have in your mind from childhood or any other moment of your life, they are there because of the emotions they made you feel. Now, second, use objects. Real world objects. We are so used to technology and photos and videos and slides that we forget objects. And they can make a speech so memorable. Because when you pick an object, I'm going to pick this here. I don't know if you can see it well, it's a candle. The moment I pick an object, the audience will think, what's that? And what is she going to do with that? You catch their attention. Now, I have actually a story for you about a speech I saw a few months ago. I can't be precise the time, but it stuck on my head. This was a leader of the teachers' union, something like that, here in my country. And he gave a press conference to talk about the teachers' careers. That is unfair, and he thinks the government is not treating them very well. And he did something that made that little speech to, I don't know, a dozen journalists go viral. When he started, he had a bag, and he pulled out of the bag some plates of different sizes and fruits, like apples and grapes and oranges. And he started to explain the teacher's career with that, with the little plates and the fruits and the way that fruits will pass from one plate to the other. It's a very strange metaphor if you ask me, but it totally worked. There was silence in the room and everyone was like, what is he doing? And at the end, he did something that I do not recommend. In fact, please don't do that. He picked one of the plates and he threw it. The thing smashed on the floor. And, well, it kind of went viral. Probably the biggest comedian here used that video. to make a joke. Now, this is not the perfect example. First of all, you probably don't want a comedian to make jokes of your work, okay? And I beg you, do not throw objects to your audience. They will not like it and someone can get hurt. You can get in trouble. But it works. The message passes. Right now, everyone knows that the teacher's career is unfair and that the government treats them, or at least they feel like it, treats them like trash. It worked. It passed the message. And I guarantee you that people will not forget it in many, many times. During a lot of time. So it is a good idea. Now, the third tip is actually in the line of the first one, but I wanted to highlight it because sometimes we forget about it. It is to give faces to your numbers. I'm pretty sure that you already noticed this in the news, okay? When there is a tragedy, when a person dies in some tragic, happening, this is terrible. And it has a lot of impact in most people. When 1,000 people die, well, it is very sad, but it's 1,000. That person, the one that died alone, was different because it has a face. They had a face, a story, aspirations. They have parents and children and siblings. They made us feel something. We can relate to them. 1,000 is a number that means nothing. That's why in major tragedies, journalists tend to talk to someone, to a couple people, so they can give a face to those numbers. And that's what you need to do as well. This is very, very important. When you're presenting a lot of statistics, you need to keep that in mind because numbers are numbers. They have no emotion, they have no interest, and they have no impact. So imagine that you are in a meeting and you're trying to tell, the board of the company that the employees are not motivated. Telling them that, 80% of our employees are not motivated means not that much. Will not have the same impact that you tell about the lady A in the HR department and tell her story and why she's not motivated, or the man in the IT department. It doesn't matter. You tell stories, 2 or 3 stories, and that will have way much more impact than those stats that you were presenting. Now, obviously, you can't use names and identify people if they don't want to, okay? Never. But I'm sure you can find a way of doing this and tell the stories and give a face. And here a face is not exactly a face, but a story and motivations and feelings to make your audience relate. It's easy as this. So, stories, physical objects, and give faces to your numbers. And I assure you, your message will come along way better. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and before you leave, I have a challenge for you. I want you to think about one moment where some speaker actually feel interesting to you, that you still remember, and tell us how and why this person was so interesting. See you next time.